BBC Whoniverse.
You're watching the TGM production.
Tom Mason. Hello, and welcome to a brand new film. I was trying out a new location because I want to spruce up the film. Today we're talking about the future of Doctor Who. In my opinion, there is one way to fix the future of Doctor Who. Last night on You and Alibi, there was a TV show broadcast called Bookish, with Mark Gatiss as our intrepid detective. From Google search and from looking online, it's described as a cosy crime. Doctor Who's future should be cosy crime. Whoa, 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 whoa. Got it balled in? No. No. Not cosy crime. Not cosy crime at all, mate. What do you mean? My opinion. Explain yourself. I'm going to let me. What I mean by that is having Doctor Who written by a cosy crime writer, written by showrun by a cosy crime showrunner. So someone like the showrunner of Shakespeare and Hathaway Private Investigates, the showrunner of Hope Street, the showrunner of Sister Bonifast, the showrunner of Rosemary in Time, the showrunner of Father Brown, the showrunner of Death Valley, the showrunner of Bookish. Right? Get one of them to showrun it. Get Juno Dawson to come in as a writer, not the lead writer, but a writer, so that you've got an established, beloved Doctor Who writer, right? So Juno Dawson, people really like Juno Dawson's contribution to the universe so far, so bring Juno Dawson in, right? Then, track down a writer that's still working, who worked on Classic Who years ago, get them in. So you've got like a writer's room of a few writers. So you've got a Classic Who writer, Juno Dawson. Then you get a more creative team from Doctor Who Redacted, first series Redacted. So you get Ellie Watson, and all this, you get a lot of talent involved. Now, your lead writer for this new era, this new version, would be a cosy crime writer. Someone that either writes cosy crime novels, wrote cosy crime TV, and has had huge success. So you get them to be one of the lead writers. Then you get a different cosy crime producer, a different cosy crime person to be the showrunner, someone that does Bookish or Death and Valley or a newer cosy crime scene. In the writer's room, you got a famous, well-known cosy crime writer, a classic Doctor Who writer, and Juno Dawson, right? And Ellie Watts, right? So you get 4 people involved. The showrunner is a modern-day cosy crime showrunner, mainly something like Death Valley for the BBC, or You and Alibi's Bookish, which is also owned by the BBC, but that's beside every point. If you can do that, you get the stylistic of it, and then what you do, because you've got a classic Who writer on there that's still writing, obviously, you don't want a retired one, because they won't want to do it. What you do is you then somehow get the Time Lords back in the first episode, banish the Doctor back to Earth, get him in a voiceover, not in a physical role, because the Doctor who is newly regenerated has been force regenerated again by the Time Lords, and he's now trapped on Earth once more. But Third Doctor was trapped in modern day Earth, the Earth that it was at the time of broadcast and at the time of the show, the 70s, right? What we do now is we set it in the Bookish universe. What I mean by that is you get it in post-war, I actually don't know which war it is, but you get it in post-war era Britain, because everything ends up in Britain, or you can have it post-war Wales, or post-war Scotland, or post-war Ireland. Actually, thinking about it, set it post-war Ireland, yeah? Bang! It's fresh. As in, I've never said the word fresh in my life because I don't understand what that means. But what it means, in a nutshell, if you really want to delve deeper is that Doctor Who will be new because every supporting character will be Irish. All the companions that the Doctor is going to have for that tenure, Irish. Now, what makes it unique and what makes it linked to the world of Bookish, which is what I'm referencing, is in an episode of Bookish, in whatever series we're on, if it's still going, Book, who is our main character, I can't remember his first name, I know his last name's Book. You get him, somehow, to end up needing to help investigation over in Ireland, and for that one episode, Christmas special, one-off companion, Mark Gatiss is a one-off companion, as Book, obviously. Then that means you lead it into the Bookish world, so that when the Doctor ends up being able to time travel again at the end of that Doctor's tenure, then you can utilise the characters from the world of Bookish, and it expands the universe further, and it also means we can get some more period-based thing. So, by having a cosy crime writer doing it, which means it's light-hearted, it's got some comic elements to it, so you can get, like, I'm trying to think, you can get, like, a really well-known Irish comedian to be the companion, but, like, a well-known in Ireland, so that it's, like, new to Britain, new to us, but the well-known in Ireland, so I'm thinking, like, someone on the same wavelength of Tim McGarry, if I'm really honest, because he is really well known in Ireland because of the Home of the Wall gang and doing Give My Head Peace and doing Dry Your Eyes. And he does the Give My Head podcast. And so Tim McGarry would be perfect. He is about to appear in Hope Street along with Neil Delamere. I think it's Neil Delamere that's going to appear in it. So you get a really famous Irish companion in. You do an episode in post-war. Then, in the future, you could then do an episode when he finally starts back and he's landing Monday Island and he ends up there being an alien or a monster invading the Late Late Show, and then we can have Patrick Kilty playing Patrick Kilty or an alternate version of himself acting and being a companion for an episode. So we can have more episodic companions. It also means that you've got a new place to utilise. I'm not saying you uproot production. Film the interior of the TARDIS, you can film that in Cardiff. In Bad Wolf Studios. You can still film stuff in Cardiff where you want to, right? I'm not saying everything has to be filmed now, but I think a good chunk of it could be. So anything in a studio where they're in a medical facility, or they're in an alien planet, that could all be in Wales, right? Because they've got a long history of production, a long history of value, and a long history of sort of employing jobs in Wales. I'm in the north of England, so I say that over in Wales. So keep it in Wales, fair enough. All the interior shots, that's fine. Unit, well, branch out. We'll have an Irish branch of Unit if we were going to do it in Ireland or whatever, or the Island Man or whatever. So we could have an Irish contingent of Unit, or we could have an Irish contingent of Torchwood. And if you wanted to bring back some classic companions as a nod to the show, some of them could now live in Ireland, or be investigating something in Ireland. So you could have Kate Lethbridge-Stewart or Gwen, someone that's connected to Unit or Torchwood, come over to Ireland to investigate something, and then introduce the Doctor to the new team, to the Irish Unit or the Irish Torchwood. You can do that. That would help expand that further, so when we then go back into the archive and pick out some things. So I think if you invent Doctor Who as a cosy crime show going forward, because cosy crime is so popular now and it's getting more popular, I think it would work if you get a traditional classic Who Doctor Who writer, Ella Watts and Juno Dawson in, who were fantastic working on Doctor Who Redacted. So you've got a classic Who writer, modern audio BBC Who, which is slightly different to Big Finish. Then, and I think Juno Dawson has done some Big Finish, so that's even more positive. And then you get a cozy crime writer, and you get a modern day cozy crime showrunner. I would say the showrunner of Bookish, but I think Death Valley would sort of fit. The showrunner of Death Valley would probably fit better, even though I think stylistically, even though I think visually, I think Bookish would be the way forward. But I'm not too sure if Mark Gatiss wants any involvement in Doctor Who, and I'm not too sure if we want him to right now, anyway, because we want fresh, new blood. So I think new people involved, who haven't done TV Who, fresh people involved in a sense of showrunner-wise. Because we want this new era of Doctor Who to feel classic. We want it to feel as inventive as Redact already, the audios, and we want it to feel cozy crime. So you get that involved. But then you also run a scheme for new writers, so that you get additional material writers in, you get additional material comedy writers in to sprinkle some gags in. You do an open call for gags, so you get a brief synopsis of what the episode's about, and you have to filter it with some gags. That could really, really, really work. And you branch it out so that more people have opportunity. You get an open call casting for extras. You get an open call casting for the monsters, so that some people that perform the creatures and monsters already stick with them, some of them. But then you also audition new ones. And then you have companion-wise, you sort of have famous companions as one-off Christmas special companions, famous Irish people or famous people in general as one-off Christmas companion. But then you open call for a brand new companion, someone that's never acted before, they're brand new, they're in a certain age bracket the year after, and get someone brand new who wants to break into the industry, because then Doctor Who could be the centre of a way in. Doctor Who could be what River City and Doctors and Neighbours was to soap opera. Open the door gate going, oh, I'm in the industry now. I'm getting to try it directing. I'm getting to try it writing additional material. I'm getting to try it being in Doctor Who or working on Doctor Who, and that would be brilliant. And that would be an amazing future for both Doctor Who and just the British, Irish, Welsh, Scottish, wherever it may be. It will help the future of the television industry. And then obviously you can branch out spin-offs, but that is another kettle of fish for a different day. So, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.